Hello everybody, Christian from Treasure Town here, and today I'm going to be speaking through 8 really cool raw coins. I've got Gary from WorldClassCoins next to me. He's spoken on a few of these before, helping us think through the coins that he's working to sell and has purchased in the past, so we've got a cool lineup today. Thanks for being on the show.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
So the first coin that we're going to be talking about, we've got this 1940 Walking Liberty half dollar in proof. What is this coin? How did you buy it, and what are you looking to do with it?
I bought it in a 1940 proof set, and I'm submitting it because it looks cameo, which is the contrast between the reflectivity and the contrast between the fields and the devices of the field.
And I know the proof sets back then way tougher to come by. Is this something that you're purchasing a full proof set and then trying to, throw away a few of the coins that really don't have too much value, or is this something where you just bought it and out of the proof set and didn't take the whole thing?
I don't think I'm going to throw away the coins, but in cameo it's probably worth like $5,000. So.
And what did you pay for this one, or the set?
I think the set was like $700 or $800.
And did you pay more because you thought the coin was potentially
No, I just
cameo?
paid whatever.
Gotcha.
They're worth.
So that'll be interesting. Maybe we can update back in the future with how it goes. This is a totally sort of different situation, a modern 1972 Roosevelt Dime. So a lot of people might think, this might just be my change. Why is it a special coin? But what's going on?
On the back, on the torch, there is a top and a bottom horizontal band. Each band has 2 split bands. There's a designation called full bands, which is the line separating the 2 bands. The top one is often fully struck, so it's always split unless it has a cut going through, which would remove the coin from the designation. But the bottom band is often weakly struck. The dies are just overused or something like that. Not only are they weakly struck, but usually they have hits on them. So a 1972 is a more difficult date in full bands. So a 66 full bands I think is worth like $800, and a 67 full bands is worth a couple $1,000s.
And what types of collectors are targeting these coins? I'm always interested in the high prices paid for really modern coins, stuff that you really are seeing in change. There's no precious metals value. Is there a big base of collectors, or is it just so tough to find these in really nice condition and strike where the prices get expensive quickly?
The reason people chase these kinds of coins, they are usually registry collectors. Online there is a registry of collectors where you can compete for number 1. And to answer the first question, I think there is a large number of collectors because for a modern Roosevelt Dime, so that's 1965 to present, it's very possible to be number 1 because it's somewhat affordable. In other words, it's far more affordable to compete for the number 1 spot for a clad Roosevelt Dime than it would be for a silver Roosevelt Dime. Similarly, with Lincoln cents, it's far more affordable to compete for the top registry spot for memorial cents than it is for wheat cents.
Makes a lot of sense. So what are you said this could be like $1,000 or so, and 66 with the full torch. Is that, what could there be some upside beyond 66 full torch?
I think it could 67, but it also might not full torch because the bottom band is a little weakly struck.
And what's the differential in value across 67 no designation or 67 with the designation?
I think it's less than $100.
Okay, gotcha. So next up we've got, going back a little bit in time again, 1958, really sort of crazy toning, and I'm sort of curious if it's artificial toning or how this occurred on this coin, and then what the value is going to be.
This is natural toning. It looks like a minset toner because it's got a film of haze over the surface. It's green, kind of blue, green, the money color. So the coin is probably worth around $1,000. I grade the coin 65 or 66. It's definitely a minset coin because now that you look at the reverse, it probably sat reverse facing up, and the obverse was facing the bottom of the minset board because it's got some what looks like burning, like the grayness of the devices compared to the fields where they're like light sky blue.
Interesting. And is this the Franklins, do they come with a lot of color normally, or is it easy?
They can because of double mint sets, but green is the most difficult color to find on a coin, typically.
Great. After that, we've got another coin that at first glance, people might wonder why it's so special, but there is a lot of history behind it. 1954 Lincoln cent, really nice condition.
Lincoln cents were struck very awfully in 1954, and they were released into circulation through originally bank-wrapped rolls and mint bags, and many 1954 Lincoln cents have carbon spots, which are black spots that you can find on copper or silver or gold, but on gold, a carbon spot is like a copper spot due to the change in the metal. And then on a 1954 Lincoln cent, finding one with red toning without spots is very difficult. And with that, in superb gem grade, which is 67, they're very rare. There are only 9 of them at PCGS. They're worth, the last one sold for $9,000, whereas one in 66 is worth $100, and in 66 plus is only worth $500. So it's very difficult to find a superb gem for the specific date.
Do you think that this one has a shot of that, or would you try it a bunch of times before, giving up if it didn't come back, or what's going to be your approach on this one?
I don't think it's a 67. I just think it's a very nice looking red coin.
Awesome. So moving on, again, going back, really nice toning on this one, 1950 Washington quarter, any mint mark, looks like the 50D. So what's the story on this?
This coin looks to have come out of a black Waite Raymond board mint set. You can tell because it has the sky blue iridescent kind of color around the edges and like a pewtery silver look in the center, and that's the color that the Waite Raymond sets generally produced. And 50D is a little better date for a Washington quarter in the 1950s. I graded the coin 67, and a 67 is worth around $400 or $500.
And how did you go about buying this coin, and what price did you pay?
I bought it in a 1950 Waite Raymond mint set, and I think I bought the set for like $800 or $900.
Okay, and so there was obviously some other coins in that. Have you sold the rest of that, or are you positive on the
rest?
Set? Okay.
Yeah.
And did the toning carry over in terms of having this nice iridescent look to it on the other silver coins?
Yeah.
Gotcha. And how do those compare? Is this the nice one from the set, or are you looking to do something with the Franklin or maybe something else?
The other quarter I submitted, and it graded 67 at NGC.
Okay. Great. Well, then we have another, looks like Franklin $50, 1957. Still has some nice toning there that you might not immediately pick up on, but really, is that, would you call that haze, or is that just like a light film of toning, or how does that happen?
It came out of a blue Whitman album, so it has to be album toning. It looks like cellophane toning, but it has to be album toning because that's the source it came out of. And it's just a very beautiful coin. It's not like special color, it's just very attractive and very appealing.
Okay, and how does the value shake out on this?
I think it's full bell lines, and it's probably a 66. I think a 66 full bell lines is worth $300.
Cool. And in terms of having that album toning, that the other one might have been Waite Raymond, this from a Whitman. Is that something people can replicate and continue to produce attractive coins, or is it more authentic? A collector put it in a long time ago, and here we have the coin.
Well, I think if you put a coin in a blue Whitman album and you let it sit for 30 or 40 years, and the colors surely could be replicated, but you're not going to do that realistically.
Okay. Next up, we've got a commemorative, classic commemorative $50. Those, as a series ran from 1892 to 1954. And this is an interesting coin because Boone, a lot of the people producing them wanted to get as many different dates and mint marks as possible so that they could sell to collectors who were trying to be completionists. So the Boone certainly suffered that fate. There were tons of different years. I think it was from 1934 to 1938. But this one, the toning on it is totally gorgeous. Maybe it's 36. I'll edit that back in. And here we have, you can even see 1934 in the design, 35 in the date. How did you come across this coin, and what's your view on what you paid for it, what you're going to sell it for, and if you're going to grade it?
I bought it on eBay. I bought it for a few $100s. The color is spectacular for the coin. It screams originality. It's original color. It's like red and green and purple, and it's really beautiful. I just want to submit it and get in a holder.
Cool. And do you think that it's going to have a high grade, or is it really just going to be the premium for the color?
I think it's a premium for the color. I think the coin grade 65 or 66. I think in a 65 or 66 holder, it's probably worth around $1,000 with the color.
Okay. And when you're taking a shot on a tone coin like this, what are you paying for it going in?
As little as you can.
That's fair. Our last coin here looks like a Mercury Dime. It's got a little bit of the sort of fiery or orangish toning. I remember that batch of Roosevelts we talked over a long time ago amped up the toning a little bit, but reminds me of that. So how do you come across this? What do you pay, and how are you going to look to get rid of it?
I don't remember where I bought it, but it's a 1942D Roosevelt Dime. It's got fully split bands, and the color, again, it screams originality. It's completely original. The color is a little crusty, but what is cool and nice about the coin is it has flawless surfaces. So the coin is more than likely going to grade 68 full bands, and in a 68 full bands holder, it's worth around $800 to $1,100.
Wow. Is this the dimes, is there a specific grading service that you try to go for, or how's your strategy in terms of submitting it?
I think a coin like this would do well at NGC, but I ultimately don't think it really matters where you submit a coin.
Okay. And are there any, more of a general question just for the collectors watching, are people buying certain specific, types more so in NGC or PCGS? Like relative, obviously there's little premiums better paid on the PCGS US material, but are there certain sort of types that are more collected in one?
I think PCGS generally sells for more, but the market seems to be coming to an equilibrium where the two are both selling for similar numbers, and NGC is really starting to gain popularity in the market.
Huh. Is that, do you think, because of the strong market, people are just sort of looking to have acceptable coins, and that's sort of spilling over to having NGC stronger, or is it anything deeper than that?
I think it's with the amount of really high caliber 7 and 8 figure coins that are showing up in NGC holders. You're leaving PCGS holders and they're moving into NGC holders, and that really speaks to a lot of collectors.
Interesting. Well, thanks again for having these coins. Not something I get to see every day, and I appreciate you thinking through the strategy, how you got them, where they're going, and a little bit about them. So thanks so much, and I hope to have you back in the future.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching the video. I'd encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated. I've also got Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, so you can follow me there. TreasuretownYT.com is the main channel website. Definitely give that a visit. I've got a lot of information about me up there and the channel. CoinGrabBag.com as well currently redirects there, but it's some good opportunities for very fair grab bags, both made by me and other sellers. A lot of different options, so that's a good way to support. There's also TreasuretownCoins.com. In the future, my coin dealing operation will be done out of that website. CoinMeltPrice.com for updates on the melt prices of your coins, both US and world. A lot of resources in that website. And then CoinsMetalsCards.com being developed right now as a marketplace and news source for coins, metals, cards, and collectibles in general. So I'll see you on my future videos. Looking forward to seeing you there, and hope you have a good day.